Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
If this was a cooking show, you would be having the tastiest debates on the land. I am Austin Yombok, and this is the Great Debaters Contest.
And I am Mariam Bashar. Welcome to the show. We have Moy Equator Secondary School going versus Pioneer Girls on whether the choice to vaccinate a child should be left to the parents' discretion. We'll let the debating gurus take the floor now. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Vaccination is the talk of our government. Every time and everything. Government give vaccines to our children, which we are not aware of what they are vaccinating against. That's why I strongly believe the parents should be given the choice to choose whether to vaccinate all their children or not. On to my first point. I don't believe any parent should give a chance to the doctors whom they don't have belief in to give vaccine to their children. We would remember the case in Busia. Busia County, after the children were vaccinated, they became lame. The burden was to the parents. We remember still in Ukambani, the same thing happened. This should not be the case. Still, I take you to a walk in United States of America, where we get their president, Franklin Roosevelt, who after being vaccinated became lame. Although he made it to be a president, still he had a physical disability. I don't think the government should do the decision for the parents. Most of the vaccines contains toxins, one of them being the multi-do flu vaccine. It contains mercury. Mercury leads to shortness in breath. It leads also to disabled eye vision. It also leads to death. This is one of the things that should make every parent to choose the decision on their behalf on how the child should be vaccinated. Most of the parents have this belief that when they vaccinate their children, the same thing is going still to happen to them. The vaccines that are introduced into a children's body, they make them the immunity weak. Hence, any outbreak that comes, every children is prone to it. Hence, that's why I stand strong saying the vaccine should be left to the parents' decision. On to my second point, the government does not give awareness to the parents on what vaccine is being given. We checked the case that happened just a week before, where vaccine was being administered to children under the age of 15. This was something that the parents were unaware of. Therefore, I say the vaccinating a child should be left to the parents' discretion. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your opening statements. You have 3 minutes.
Vaccination should be left to the discretion of the parents. Vaccination is administration of a drug to prevent a disease, and discretion is basically a choice. No, it's not that in every occasion that the decision a parent makes will be the best for the child, especially when these decisions are not based on truth. Some parents are ignorant to the purpose and the use of immunization to the child. Therefore, their decisions will be made on irrational fears, dogmatic beliefs, and unfounded claims. Take an example of the Kavanaucha sect in Ukambani. This is a religious group that is strongly against immunization of their children. And in this same sect, in 2011, 11 children died of measles, which is an immunizable disease. As much as I respect their religious beliefs and practices, I do not see the sense in letting your child die, watching your child die over something that could be prevented. That is why I strongly oppose the motion and believe that the choice to vaccinate a child should be left to to someone more responsible and, yeah, thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
Vaccination can never be 100% safe. Ignorance of doctors lead them to committing treatable mistakes, which leaves the parents hopeless and frustrated. Islamic groups, including the Taliban, say the polio vaccination drive is the front of the spirits all conspiring to terrorize the Muslims. On to my second point, the government does not give the awareness to the parents on what the disease is being vaccinated against, making the parents feel inferior, or thus they find it difficult to accept the vaccination for their children. On to my third point, many parents simply wonder if it is wise to vaccinate against a disease unlikely to afflict their children in any chance exit that the vaccine will cause them autism. Vaccinating of a child should be left to the parent's discretion. This because in Busia, we see 28 children, after being injected with the vaccine, they suffered of paralysis and weakened their limbs. On to my fourth point, some communities in Kenya, like Turkana and Akamba, are against the vaccines. The Constitution's Article 44(1) says that every person has a right to participate in the culture and also to participate in the vaccinating of their children. For example, do you remember Mogoi Rimbo, who performed his duty in an inhuman way? This is why we support the motion that says the vaccinating of a child should be left in the parent's discretion. Francis Kagadua, Moi Equator Girls.
Opposition will hear your rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Tiffany Wamboy from Pioneer Girls School. I would like to oppose the motion that says vaccination should be left to the discretion of the parents. To my respected opposers, you said that the parents are not being told or are not being given the awareness that of the children being vaccinated. You're not, as in all the time, we see it on news, we see it on newspapers, we hear it in the radio, we hear it even in school, during sessions with our counselors, our community. We hear that all children should be vaccinated for a reason. I'd like the following questions to be answered. Vaccines do not lower your immunity, but it actually increases it. And that one vaccine has failed, but could you please tell me how many have succeeded in this country? On to my first point, mandatory vaccination is not a violation of one's constitutional rights. According to the Court of Massachusetts, which released a report on 16th May 2014, it states that violation is not against one's constitutional rights. This has been upheld by the WHO countries, World Health Organization countries, including Kenya. So why is it that the parents would like to stop or to go against this directive to help stop or curb the spread of these diseases? In the event of the spread of a deadly disease or deadly communicable disease, giving an example of Ebola, keeping in mind that Ebola has no vaccine, but in this year alone, in March 2014, 3,955 people have died. And since December, 11,352 people have been killed. If there were a vaccine and one parent, only one, refuses to vaccinate their child, this disease would spread. And it would affect not only the country, but the continent at large. I think this decision is too crucial to be left in the hands of the parents. The government and other World Health Organizations should be given the directive to choose this decision for the better of our children, for the better of this community. Thank you.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
The proposers have been asked if we choose to let immunization matters be decided by parents, what happens in the case of orphans, and the opposition have been asked to explain why immunization should be carried on when it clashes with one's religious beliefs. We'll have them respond to those questions. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
In Kenya, we find that most orphans have sponsors or taken care of by children's home. These people who take care of them act like their parents, and they have the right to choose whether to vaccinate or not to vaccinate the child. We also find that when the children are vaccinated, like for instance, there was a group going around all schools vaccinating any child below the age of 15. Our parents didn't know this, and most of those students also didn't know what they were being vaccinated against. So if you ask whether the orphans should or should not be vaccinated, I think those who take care of them, their sponsors, the people in charge of this children's home should be in charge. And also, we have that these days, the label that is given to a person is stronger than the person who is labeled. I may call you doctor, but you don't have the characteristics of a doctor. How sure am I as a parent? I should trust you to give my child that vaccination. I'm Isabella Omai from Equator Girls.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
I'd like to thank our fellow colleagues for agreeing with us that the government should be the ones to decide for the orphans, and all of us as well. And we're not looking at characteristics, we're looking at qualification. And to answer the question that was asked, we respect religion, but it's to save their lives. God created doctors to help in healing by treatment. Parents do not have the resources required to find substantial research on vaccinations and their effects. Yes, there's Google, but what's on there is not true and sufficient. Therefore, they can't be left to make this decision. The government and other health agencies, on the other hand, have the resources and facilities to make this decision, to find out their effects, and to recommend the best way forward. They give their time, they give effort, they have personnel, they have good technology to come up with conclusions that should be made. And that is why we cannot leave this decision to the hands of the parents. Are we willing to let one single person affect all the rest just because of an uninformed decision made by the parents not to vaccinate their children? No, we are not. So who's up to task to make this decision? I believe that the government and other health agencies should be left in charge to authorize this vaccination, because clearly our parents, our loving parents, are not informed enough. Thank you.
We'll now hear final submissions. Proposition, you have 1 minute.
I believe that we are the next big things, and in the next few years, we are going to become parents. So it's better for us to save the lives of our children by letting the parent to decide whether to vaccine their children or not. Francis Gagadhua, my girls, Equator.
Opposition, you have 1 minute.
Health is a very crucial matter. In fact, it's a matter of life and death. The purpose of a vaccination is not to decrease immunity. It is to control epidemics and to avert suffering and deaths that are brought about by these epidemics. And therefore, if a parent decides not to vaccinate a child, they risk to endanger all the others around them who get the disease also. So are we willing to listen to the parent's decision and risk all the others in name of personal liberties and parental autonomy? No, we are not. The decision to vaccinate should therefore be left to the able government who are knowledgeable enough to take authority on this strong issue of health. That's my point.
Moi Equator High School, I must say that all of you are very confident, which is a very good plus. You come here, and at least we can tell you are ready to engage with the audience and even convince us on your end. And so for you, you are telling us that the parents should decide and be the leads on the type of vaccinations being given to their children. Gathitu, it's not about a vaccine. We were talking even about the process, just the vaccination itself. You kept referring to it as just a vaccine. It's just the process itself of vaccination. You're very passionate when you start over your team, which is good. However, I felt there was a need for a challenge. There was a challenge, on your mastery of topic and language as well. So you just need to work on that, and you can make a better speaker. Francisca, I felt like you're reading too much, okay? You want to come and try and master the points that you want to submit, so that at least you can engage us. Eye contact is also important. So you read too much, and of course the points were good. It doesn't mean that the points that you were submitting were not good. They were good. But you want now to show us that you're also a speaker, because debate is all about persuasion. So you want to engage us as well. So try and master your topics a bit. Try and master a few points here and there so it can engage us. So you do not engage as much. Isabella, and I must also talk about time utilization was poor on your end for the three of you. Isabella, I think you're the one who utilized less time. I think it was about a minute only. So you left 2 minutes to use and utilize them in. The question was well answered, but the submissions we were left wondering what else to judge on. And that's the reason why I have very few things to say to you. So as a team, you really need to work on the areas that we check on. You need to work on your style, presentation, mastery of language, passion, topic as well, and coherency of argument, so that at least you're solid. But all the best to the team.
Pioneer girls, when you started speaking, I listened to you. Sharon, Tiffany, Helen. The good thing about you, you've mastered English language. Another good thing, you're very confident girls. Now the problem is time utilization. Why are you underutilizing your time? Apart from Tiffany, Sharon, you underutilized your time. Helen, you also underutilized your time. I just wished you used your time to the full. The thing is this, plan your work. Know how many points you want to have. Do I have 3 points? Explain those points. That will take you 3 minutes. Are we together? So properly use your time. Sharon, very interesting issue. The aspect of ignorance, I agree with. You gave us some numbers. You talked about Ukambani. You talked about religion. You talked about 11 children dying of measles in Ukambani. And I thought these are very interesting issues. But within no time, you're seated. And I wonder, why didn't you go on? Tiffany, very interesting arguments also. And I love the hypothetical example of communicable diseases. And you're saying, if we leave this to the discretion of the parents, then we are risking. We are risking the whole country. We are risking maybe the death of many people, because it's a very sensitive issue. It should not be left in the hands of the parents, but it should be left in the hands of maybe informed people. Very good argument. Helen, again, the issue of religion, you answered well, but not very well anyway. The thing is this, you are so much in a hurry. I wanted you to explain. Just making a statement, sitting down, does not really amount to winning a debate. The aspect of parents not being informed again, you should at least have expounded on it. So apart from Tiffany, the others, you need really to work on your time, but content mastery was good. Language is good. Just add a little bit, and then you'll make awesome debaters.
One of the challenges that your team had was understanding your roles as a first debater, the second debater, and the third debater, and of course, the utilization of time. You'd rather, have the bell go while you're still speaking than walking away when you still have a lot of time to be able to say something. Again, for Pioneer, and most of it has been said, I really would have wanted to listen to Sharon a lot more, and you left me yearning for more, because you had very good evidence of somebody you had evidence, your submissions had evidence of somebody who's read and who's current, but you denied us that opportunity of listening to you much longer.
Moi Equator High School, the judges awarded you 58%. Please give them a round of applause. Pioneer Girls School, the judges awarded you 62%, making you the winners of this debate.
Congratulations to the two teams on stage, and we'd like to thank you, our studio audience, and also our viewers back home. Thank you for watching. Please follow us on our social media platforms at Great Debaters EA on Twitter and all the rest. I am Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Thank you for watching.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.